The good. Cougars basketball won by 50. The bad. The Rockets. The ugly. Cougar football. Welcome, everyone, to Episode 8 of the Moody Sports Podcast. My name's Cody.
My name's Zach.
And today we're going to be talking about Cougar football and their heartbreaking loss to Temple. The Rockets, although they've won 4 out of the last 6 games, they're not doing too well.
Yeah.
And we're going to discuss why. And Cougar basketball, when they just beat a team by 50.
Oh, man.
So,
the one good thing we have to talk about, the Cougar basketball. But before we get to there, we'll go through the mud and the murk, starting with what's first on the schedule, Cody?
Cougar football.
What's next on the schedule, Cody?
Exactly.
Oh,
Do we
man.
even need to talk about this?
We have to, man. Through the thick and thin, through the night and the day, we got to talk about everything.
I guess you're right. I'm going to just say, though, fire everyone. The trainers, the training staff, the strength and conditioning coach, especially the defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
But
Excuse me.
that was a game we had to win.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it
It's
opens
pretty
the
damn
door
close to it.
opens the door for SMU. Now SMU is in control because we're tied 4-2 in conference, even though they're 5-5 and we're 7-3. And if they just win out, they're going. And their schedule is a lot easier than ours. We share an opponent in Memphis, but they don't have to play Tulane like we do. Tulane is a good team. It's weird that I have to say that, but Tulane is a good team.
At least when playing UVH.
No, Tulane's been good this year. They've been pretty solid. What I mean by that is they're not a walkover team like Tulsa or ECU or Tulane has a chance to go up and beat anybody. I mean, they beat USF last week.
Really?
I believe, yeah. So I'm not excited about that. But what I am excited about is that at least we're not dead. You know?
Yeah. We still have a chance.
We still have a chance, but it's just I wish we were in control. I do think, SMU, like U of H, does a great job of dropping the ball. They'll be cruising, they're fine, and then whoops, we just screwed everything up. So there's still that chance of happening. They could easily win these next 2 games by a combined 70 points, or they could lose these next 2 games by a combined 70 points. Who knows? But honestly, if we're being realistic, if everything goes the way it should, the only team that stands any sort of chance of beating them in their next 2 is Memphis, and Memphis has just been the biggest disappointment this year, besides U of H in AAC football. U of H has, as I said earlier, they have Tulane, thankfully at home this week. It's senior night, so please come out and support the seniors, even if, like 99% of the U of H fans at the Temple game, just want to leave at halftime.
Yeah.
Please come out and support these guys. Man, it was pretty. I'll be honest, a little honesty moment right here. It was really heartbreaking watching us only down by 7 with like 6 minutes left or whatever it was, and there's like 10 fans in the stadium. Because there wasn't that like fans get into the game. Everybody's excited, yelling, screaming. We didn't have that, and Temple just cruised on in. We scored, kicked an onside, got the ball back, scored again, and then there wasn't like a rally cry because nobody was there. I'll say that. I'll say that's on the fans. But also, before that, the Temple had scored an uncountable amount of points, and the coaches didn't seem to change anything. That's what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Well, it seems like a common factor between every single game.
Yeah.
Scoring 35 plus a game, probably
40.
closer to 40.
40 plus.
You should win more than 7 games.
You should win all
in
your
my
games.
opinion.
You should win all your games.
almost all your games, unless you play like Alabama or something. But
if you're putting up 49 or 40 or plus on Alabama, then you deserve to win those too.
Yeah. But if you score 49 points in a game, you should win. And you shouldn't lose by double digits.
It was
and
crazy.
we said this in the Texas Tech game when Texas Tech scored 63.
Beat us by 14.
Yeah. When you score 49 points, you should win.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's no. I guess there's no really not an excuse for losing that.
I
other
will.
than,
I will
like,
say this:
no defense.
we have the tiniest of excuses is that half of the starting defense we had is hurt.
Sure, that you could use that as an excuse, but that still doesn't explain 59 points.
No, yeah, those are you could have, fence posts out there.
Yeah, I mean, sure,
And they trip
Temple
up
is
enough times.
a decent team, like in AAC standards, but are they 59 points good? Are they that good?
No, I don't. Very few teams are 59 points good.
That's my point exactly. This game was just heartbreaking in general. It started off with a blocked punt, I believe, and that led to a quick score.
Yeah, we just missed that, but we saw the second kickoff when after that blocked punt touchdown, and it obviously didn't bode well. That was the story of the game, was U of H playing from behind.
Yeah.
They went up 14-0.
Yeah, in like the first 5 minutes or something like that.
I mean, the offense for what it was worth did great, putting up 49 points, but it's weird that we're in this sense that, like, our offense puts up 49 points and we're like, we didn't do enough on offense. It's because I guess we're just so used to watching our defense be bad.
Yeah.
That we always expect our offense to cover that.
I mean, it's not like we expect them, it's the offense has to.
The offense has to be good. Yeah, you're right. They have to be better than good. They have to be great, and which no championship team has that.
It's kind of clear that we have to score 65 points a game to win because the defense is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we lost most of our starters, including Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
And most of our starting defensive backs, but it's not like they just threw the ball everywhere. They ran they ran the ball up the middle most of the game.
Yeah.
They had 210 plus rushing yards, and their running back had 6 touchdowns.
He did.
It's like 6 total touchdowns, I believe.
Yeah, they had 59 points. I can imagine they had crazy amount of touchdowns, but
yeah,
I will say this: if there's a little plus, I mean, obviously our offense is our shining stone, but on top of that, here's a little record breaker. Ding, 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 ding. Sound the alarms. Sorry. De'Aaron King is now the leading touchdowns responsible for in a single season player in our conference of all time with 46. With his 4th touchdown, he had 46, I believe. So now it's all his. Ain't nobody else's. Took it from McKenzie last year of UCF. So that's, something. Too bad it came in a losing effort, but hey, he'll be in the record books until, the next U of H quarterback comes along and puts up 47 touchdowns. He does have 2 touchdowns. He does have 2 games left. And a bowl game at least.
Hopefully.
We're already in a bowl game. We have 7 wins. Maybe a conference championship. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Maybe a conference championship as well. So 4 potential games, 3 at the least. So, I mean, that number's going to go up, which will be nice. But, I mean, I hope they come in wins, which you can't guarantee with this team.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on like this team is in a golf cart as it sinks to the middle of a lake. And everybody's just sitting on it like, yeah, we're fine. Whatever. We're fine. We'll still go to the conference championship as that thing just sinks into the water.
Yeah.
Everybody's acting like it's cool. Everybody on the staff, the coaching staff, D'Onofrio, Briles, Applewhite, they're all just chilling. But that's not how it looks from the outside. I mean, somebody's getting fired after this year.
Someone better get fired at the end of this year.
Unless somehow we win out and win the conference championship, which is not looking like it's going to happen.
Oh, no.
If somehow that happens, then maybe they stay. But, I mean, one more loss, they're done. Most likely it's going to be Applewhite, D'Onofrio with him. Or it's most likely, I bet I said that wrong. Most likely it's going to be D'Onofrio, and then Applewhite's going to be on a short leash from then on out. You said it, Cody. I said it's the worst timeline. But who do you think is going to be the replacement if that happens, which most likely will?
That's a good question. I really have no idea.
Interim coach, who's it going to be?
Probably Applewhite. That's what I'm
No,
guessing.
Bryles.
Bryles?
I'm talking about for head coach.
Head coach? Oh, then Bryles, definitely.
I don't want that at all. Listen, I understand Bryles is an offensive genius, whatever. But what that does is that opens it up for Mr. Hide and Seek. Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Art Bryles coming back. And I do not want Art Bryles back on this campus ever. I know he came back during the summer to watch U of H practices, but I never want him back ever again, man.
Yeah, he's not the greatest of people.
He's not a good dude. And it's looking like he's coming back. Remember Daniel last year?
Yeah.
Remember he said that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's impossible. They would never let him back. That's
well,
stupid.
It's looking like they are.
It's really looking like it's going to happen. Oh, I hope he stays in Italy where he is right now. Hope he coaches football there till the day he dies, which couldn't come sooner. That was rough. But
that's a bit much. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, with that whole thing that went down at Baylor, it was Baylor, right?
It was Baylor. All the rape accusations and just ignoring
it's
all that stuff.
It's not a good look, especially when you're trying to hide it.
Terrible look.
Especially when you try to hide it. I don't know. It's just not a good look.
It's not. It shouldn't be a look at all, man. And that's what it looks like it's gonna happen. It looks like Kendall's gonna take over the head coaching duties. If Applewhite can't swing the ship around, and after that, I mean, or just step 1 to step 2 to step 3. Oh, we bring Art Browse as like a coaching consultant. Oh, he'll be like a quarterback coach or something like that. Oh, our offensive coordinator. Oh, we have to move him around. He's not doing exactly what we want. Oh, whoops. Art Browse want to fill in that offensive coordinator position.
Head coach?
Oh,
Yeah.
At that point, he probably wouldn't be head coach, but he'd still be offensive coordinator, which I think is, honestly, him being here, I think is too much of a position.
Yeah.
But unless they're able to swing it around, which they can, let's be honest here. They can. They can still win out. SMU has to lose one, but they can still win out. They can go to the conference championship. Who knows? Maybe they're inspired like when we played Louisville last year. Last year, 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. We beat Louisville 2 years ago.
Sorry.
Maybe we're inspired and we do something about it, but it's not looking likely. It's skewed to SMU winning out. And then them, which I will say this, if SMU does go to the conference championship, I can full-heartedly root for UCF to win, and then trying to break in the playoff system.
That is true.
If
they're not going to, but I highly doubt they're going to make top 4.
They should. If they don't, they need to
Like
reevaluate the system.
The P5 G5 thing,
Disgusting.
or P6 G4, whatever you want to call it now. It's
P5 G5. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it technically doesn't exist. That's just more of like a social aspect.
It's definitely a real thing.
Yeah, but so like a state of mind, I guess. But that doesn't mean G5 schools can't go to the playoffs.
They can't.
They can, but they can't? What do you mean by that?
Has one ever done it?
Okay, but what I mean by that is like it's not impossible, though it's highly unlikely.
They make it impossible. They try their hardest to make it impossible.
Yeah, I understand, but that's what I'm saying is like in very rare circumstances is it possible, but
that's not how it should be.
Yeah, I completely
At the beginning of each season, 85% of teams, 80% of teams are excluded from even having a chance without even playing a football game.
I completely agree.
They could win out, wouldn't matter.
I completely agree.
Because Alabama, LSU, Clemson, A&M, Texas, they can all lose one game. They can lose 2 games and still have a shot of making it. So they get some cushion that nobody else gets. Everybody else, it would take extreme measures. Like the SEC champ would have to be like 7-3 to even have a shot of like a G5 school making it in. And that's never going to happen, obviously. Yeah. Notre Dame still gets to play whoever they want and get a free ride all the way to the championship. Clemson beats Syracuse every year, whoop-de-doo, and they somehow play a harder schedule than UCF or Boise or even U of H. And they get these – I mean, I am – thanks in part to my uncle, shout out, I am a G5 extremist. I am for the total dismantle of the playoff system and going to
I'm completely there.
a 64-team championship or a 32. I want a 64-team tournament for champion, like basketball. Did I tell you? No, I told my dad. Sometime last week, they announced the D2, D3, and NAIA tournaments for the football. That's fun stuff, man. You get to watch a lot more football. You see a lot of challenges you wouldn't see, and then there is a certified, non-questionable champion at the end of it. In college football, and D1 football, when you have your Alabamas and your LSUs and all this stuff, there's a committee, a bunch of deep-pocketed SEC elitists that get to choose who gets to make it into the tournament. Tournament, quotations.
Yeah, it's not even, sorry, that was weird. That's not even a tournament. That's just, hey.
It's an invitational.
That is, yeah. It's like, hey.
It's a 4-team invitation.
You're good, and you're good. Hey, you're the 4th seed, quote-unquote. You're going to play the, quote-unquote, 1 seed.
Yeah.
And the other 2 are going to play. And then we're going to see who wins out of those 4.
It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, and it's an insult to college athletes.
And a good example on why it's so skewed is last year UCF beat Auburn. UCF went undefeated that season and only ranked, 15 at most? I don't even remember what their final ranking was.
They were high, but they were not top 4 high.
Yeah.
Because they were purposely kept out of it.
They were in the double digits.
I can't remember. I know they finished in the single digits, but yeah, before Auburn.
Yeah.
They were
and
in the
so
double digits.
they beat Auburn. And Auburn beat Georgia.
Cody, it was an uninspired Auburn team that was just defeated and didn't want to play.
Anyways, Auburn beat
garbage.
Both Alabama and Georgia. I believe it was Georgia in the finals last year. And UCF beat them. So
but
based
Cody,
on the I guess chain, doesn't that make UCF a higher rank than Auburn and
but Cody,
and
UCF
Alabama
doesn't play a tough SEC schedule every week. They're not playing tough teams like Tennessee and Arkansas State and Mercer every year. Man, those title contenders. They don't play teams.
Is Rutgers in the SEC too?
Big Ten.
Big Ten, okay.
But still like another superpower, yeah.
They're still like
they don't play teams like Baylor or Kansas or Maryland. Ooh. It's a lie. There's just like any other conference, there's 4 at the top, 4 or 5 at the top, and there's a bunch of garbage teams. And every year, maybe one of those garbage teams is good for a year or a couple years, but it's the same. It's just some conferences have better good teams, which I understand. I am not an idiot. Alabama this year is clearly heads and shoulders above everybody else. No doubt. But do I think that means that only teams that play in Alabama's conference should make it? No, that's garbage. You cannot sit here and tell me that LSU deserves it more than UCF. They've lost, twice now? And they're most likely have a higher shot of making it in than UCF.
Who? I'm sorry.
LSU lost twice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
To Alabama and
I can't remember the other one.
Someone else, I don't remember.
You mind?
Yeah, I'll check that real quick.
Thanks. But I just don't understand how teams can get shut out like that and then them say, oh, it's a fair system. You guys agreed to it. The conferences agreed to it, when there was the big vote on what they should do because it was the only chance they had at anything. And even then, the SEC, ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12, whatever they are, they dangle the money above everybody's head. So, I mean, if you want any shot of getting an ESPN game, an ABC game, and getting any sort of money, then you have to agree to what those big conferences want. It's a cartel, the NCAA cartel, and it's ridiculous. I think we should move on before I get too heated, and I'm already pretty.
LSU lost to Florida.
Florida, there you go. And Florida lost to Kentucky at home.
Don't sleep on Kentucky this year.
I'm sleeping on Kentucky hard because I got smacked around by Georgia. So, I mean, Let's move on. What's next? Let's go talk about something.
We'll
nice.
talk something a little better than
something
Cougar football.
light, something nice, something exciting.
Well, it's not at least nice per se.
Oh, we have the Rockets.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this though. In Morey we trust.
Why?
In Morey we trust.
I love Morey, but we need to take a hard look at what we got going on right now.
I mean,
we missed out on Butler,
but I think we gave up more than the 76ers did.
We would have.
We would have. That's what I mean.
But we didn't.
And the trade that we sent in was Nene, Eric Gordon, and 2 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler, and they sent in a second-round pick. Who were the players? I don't remember.
Oh, Dario Saric, a 3-point shooting small forward / power forward. More of a when you play small ball, you put him at power forward. And then Robert Covington, a 3-and-D elitist, probably one of the better 3-and-D players, especially at his price. So the Wolves got a good deal. I won't say that. I think the Wolves probably got a better deal than the 76ers because the 76ers, everybody I've heard talk about this, maybe that's just because my years of being a Rockets fan, every move the Rockets make looks terrible no matter what. Oh, you guys got Chris Paul. What are you going to do with 2 guys that need the ball? You know, that stuff. But the 76ers, they've eliminated their 3-point presence. They are now specifically an inside team. They play inside the paint now because, I mean, their best 3-point shooter now, J.J. Redick, he's it. But then who else?
Jimmy Butler to an extent.
He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's historically a bad 3-point shooter. Or an below average one. Not horrible. I won't say he's horrible, but he's below average. That's it. And you have, when your big thing is that your big point guard that you love so much, Ben Simmons, who is a great player, don't get me wrong, but he's not a scorer. And now he's going to have a crowded paint on top of that. Joel Embiid, a dominant post, don't get me wrong, but when you don't have to worry about anybody shooting threes, you're just going to send extra help down there. I mean, he's going to have more people on him. Jimmy Butler, he does bring this to the team. He is now an end game option. You know, when you need somebody who needs to get you a point, you can put him out there, you know. Before then, who did you give it to? Joel Embiid, maybe, but again, posts are usually the last option that you want to give it to in those types of moments simply because they draw a lot of attention. And they're not as fast and they're quick and they can't get, you know, off challenging shots like other players can. So that's good for them. That's a plus. But I just see, you know, to be in that moment, you have to be close. You have to have close games. And they lose Saric, who is a great 3-point shooter. They lose Robert Covington, who is a great 3-point shooter, off the bench, but, you know, still good. What they did win at is that they only had to give up a second-round pick in 2022. That's fine for the talent you get for Jimmy Butler. I don't think you missed out on much. But how this relates to the Rockets is we lose.
Yeah.
I mean, now Eric Gordon, who hasn't, I love Eric Gordon, but he hasn't been playing this year. Hasn't been playing well. Nene hadn't even seen the court yet. Now they play with even less confidence on a team that can't seem to buy a game in the West. We can beat the Pacers for whatever reason, but can't seem to beat anybody else. That we just over the weekend we lost to I think who is it, the OKC Thunder. I just couldn't think of the word. The OKC Thunder without Westbrook, which that's embarrassing. And then they also lost to the Spurs, who are a fringe playoff team, and which is looking like what the Rockets are this year. They're looking like a fringe playoff team. So far, it's early, but I mean we're second.
Yeah,
we're second to
11,
last.
Only 11 games in or something.
Yeah, but we're 12, something like yeah. It's still short, but we're also second to last in our conference or in our division. So that's not looking good, especially because our division has some tough teams in it. At least this year, and the West is having a renaissance, except for the Rockets. OKC is looking good. The Clippers are good. The Warriors are the Warriors. Denver is great, even though their best player isn't even playing well. I mean, just
it's a weird league this year. I think last year the teams that you would think are like doing well, like the Thunder, not the Thunder, Golden State, the Rockets. The Celtics even
Cavaliers. Yeah, Celtics are like 7-6.
Yeah,
and they were expected to dominate the
East.
Only
team, I guess, the Raptors did well last year too. But really, the only team that did really well last year that's doing well, in my opinion, is Golden State. But that's just because
that's just Golden State.
Golden State. You have 5 All-Stars on the team now with Cousins.
4 playing, one on the way.
Yeah, you it's like a cheat code basically.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about that.
Yeah. 2 players with 50-point games.
Exactly. Like, how do you compete against that?
Klay Thompson had 14 threes in one game. Now he holds the record by himself. Steve Kerr even said when it happened, he was like, "Oh, wait, who owned that record before it?" And Curry's like, "Oh, I owned it, whatever." Because Curry knows, a couple weeks. Oh, I guess I'll take it. All it takes is you have to play some bottom of the barrel team, which for the Warriors is most everybody else.
Everyone else. Although the Clippers beat them in overtime, either yesterday or the day before.
Whoop-de-doo-dah. Tell me when they have to win 4 out of 7.
True, but that means they're beatable.
I mean,
at least on decent teams.
Denver beat them. The Bucks beat them. Bucks whooped them. Still choosing the Warriors in a best of 7.
That is true.
Come on. Last year, the only team that even remotely challenged them was the Rockets, and the Rockets were like playing perfect basketball, and then they lost somebody and then down the drain. So you can be at full strength. You can be playing the best you've ever played in franchise history and still lose.
It won't go 4-0 though. It'll be like a 4-2 or a 4-1 type series. I'm just saying they're beatable at least one time in the series.
If you win one game against the Warriors, there's your championship right there.
Exactly.
You know what's crazy to think about is like the Warriors are a thing that exist. 4 All-Stars. And I mean, what? 6-7 years ago, 10 years ago, within that span, the league turned down a trade that would have let Chris Paul go play with LeBron James, because that would have made that team too powerful.
Yeah,
and now we have a team that's gonna win like 3 or 4 more.
Arguably one of the best teams of all time.
Oh, dude, no contest. Who's beating them?
Only one that I can see beating them is the Bulls, 95 Bulls. Only team.
That team was a team made for that era. When the team that won was the team with the best superstar.
I guess so.
Nowadays you can have a superstar and you won't even make the playoffs. You can have a guy that goes out and gets 25 points a night, 7 assists. Doesn't matter.
I guess you're right, but
you need 2 All-Stars to even have a chance. You have 3, you have 4, then now you're playing basketball. I mean, come on. I mean, look at the Bucks. They have who right now looks like the early MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they're they're like 3rd in the East. That's crazy. So I guess what I'm saying is everything's broken. The Rockets are bad. What are we gonna do? Please, Morey, fix us.
In Morey we trust.
Oh my God. In Morey, I'm hoping we can do something. We'll see though.
He's a smart man. He knows what he's doing.
He is a smart man. He is very good at what he does. I just wish
it happened sooner.
I wish I wish we would have got that trade across, which isn't his fault. I mean, he offered a great package, a great deal for the 76ers, and the 76ers said, the Timberwolves. And they said, sorry, and they went for something else, which, hey, it's their team, do what they want. They got Butler out. That's the big – they could have traded Butler for nothing. They could have just released the guy, and they would have got a better deal than having Butler on their team.
Exactly.
I think Karl Anthony Towns was having when Butler wasn't playing, he was getting 27 points, 9 rebounds. And when Butler played, he was getting 2 points a game. His average was 19 points per game over the entire season. And that's with games that were 30-point games. And there's only been 11 games so far, or whatever they've played. It hasn't been a lot. So obviously they made the smart move. Just moving along. Thibodeau didn't want it, but they moved along. All right, do you want to move along? You want to talk about something nice?
On to something a little more.
Oh, dude, more than a little.
I guess, much greater than.
Oh, this is what I've been excited about this whole time, man.
Better, whatever words you want to use.
I can get all this bad news off my screen, and I can focus on on the good stuff.
The Cougar basketball's back.
Ooh.
And are they back? Sure, Alabama A&M is 0-2 now.
Hey.
And they're not, and they got beat bad by someone else.
Rice.
Rice. But
They
it
got
was
beat
like
by 20 by Rice. But whatever. That's no. We're not looking at the other team. What we're looking at is how our team looked. And
101 points.
good golly.
Oh my God.
Good lordy. They were on fire from anywhere. I mean, they were pulling up from the garage next door, and they were
pulling up
buckets.
from underside of the parking garage and still making it.
It was crazy. I mean, they were throwing inbound passes that went in for 3 points. It was insane.
It got to the point where the game was almost boring. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
fast break.
yeah.
Oh, 3-pointer.
I said to you at that point, I was like, hey, if every game is like this for the rest of the year, if they're boring
Oh,
basketball games,
I'm 100% for it.
I'm going to every game, and I'm going to be eating my first-class popcorn.
Oh, that's right. For those who don't know, we got press, I guess you would call it, like the stadium boxes.
They're like the most expensive, quote-unquote, tickets in the house. Not because we have money, but because somebody else is scared of TSU, and I'll take. Oh, I revel in it. I love it.
We found out how the 1% lives.
Oh, yeah. Look down on everybody that was beneath us as we ate our stale popcorn and runny salsa.
And unsalted stale chips. You can't forget that.
That's true. I actually didn't taste those hors d'oeuvres, but I'm sure they were great.
Fantastic. But back to the game. That was fantastic to watch.
Oh,
the first half, although I missed most of it because I was studying for a test.
Boo. Nerd.
Sorry. It was fantastic to watch.
I mean, yeah, player of the game, easily. Armani Brooks with 24 points, 6 3-pointers, 6 for 10 on 3-pointers. He had 60% from the 3-point line. And then he shot 50% from inside there. So, I mean, the guy was all over the place, 24 points. Then our next leading scorer, Corey Davis, who had 22 points. I think he was 5 for 9 at from 3-point land. I mean, everybody that was worried about who was going to score for this team when Rob Gray left, we've been saying for a while that we're like, oh, we believe we'll be fine. We think we'll be fine. But now we know. There is 4 or 5 options now, and everybody can put in a bucket. I mean, the freshman, Nate Hinton, came off the bench, put up 7 and 7. 7 points, 7 rebounds. As a guard who's not used to the Samson system yet, putting a great amount of points. The transfers from UMass each had great performances. If I knew their names off the top of my head, I'd tell them to you. But I mean, they looked great. I mean, my personal player of the game, the official player of the game was Armani Brooks, but mine personally was Cedric Alley, who was awesome. The one thing that I was worried about, and it's a really small thing, was offensive rebounding. And he was great on the boards for the offense. The first bucket of the game came off of a rebound that he had on the offensive side, kick out for a 3-pointer. He had 11 points with 5 rebounds, but those rebounds must have all been on the offensive side. So it was just, there was no weak links. It was exciting basketball. Alley-oop dunks, fast breaks. It's high-paced, fast-paced, high-tempo offense the entire time with suffocating defense.
Would you say they're better than last year?
Yes. 1,000%. And last year's team was good. This team is better.
Last year's team, if for those who don't know, arguably could have made it to the
They
finals?
made it to what they did is they made it to the round of 32. Yeah. Lost by 1 to
that team from up north.
Yeah.
Michigan.
The blue school. And that team was great. There were very few. The one hole in that team was that we didn't have a small hole was we didn't have as many electric scores as we do this year. But this year,
everyone can score.
Yeah, it wasn't like last year was like disappointing in any sense. It was a great team that did things U of H hadn't done in a long time. Since '83, I think, was the last time they won a tournament game. And it was since 2010 that they'd even been to the tournament. So, I mean, this team looks right now. I think I said last week, you know, if we're not in the Sweet 16, then this year's a disappointment.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Especially after watching that. This next opponent they have is Rice, who the Alabama A&M, is that what they're called?
Yeah, Alabama.
Alabama A&M, the team U of H beat by 47, played Rice after they played us, and they lost by 20. Now we're playing Rice at our place at TSU. Excuse me. It's gonna be a butt kicking. I'm excited about. Tomorrow, Wednesday. I don't know the time, but I mean, if you're just on campus,
Probably at like 7.
maybe. Who cares? It's gonna be fun. Actually, I care. As I sit atop my silver palace. Sorry, Cody, you won't be able to join us this time. My mom's coming to the game.
Dang it.
Honestly though, we saw what it was like last time. I'm probably gonna come down there anyways. It was nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I'll go up there, grab a water, and come downstairs.
Yeah.
And how it was last time is there wasn't even security there,
There was one security guard.
and she didn't check anybody. I had a jacket on, so you couldn't even see my
Yeah,
wrists.
same.
So she didn't check us. If you just go up there confident, you're fine.
Yeah.
So if you want free
Like
water,
they give, like I care anyways.
yeah. If you want runny salsa, come upstairs and see us in the press booth.
Runny salsa, lukewarm sodas.
No, the sodas were cold.
Not the ones I saw.
No.
They were sitting out for a
Oh,
while.
they did have a bowl of ice. If you wanted some ice.
Lukewarm water and stale popcorn.
I just don't understand how people are paying for that, and they're paying a lot of money. A lot of money. I guess they're banking on the fact that when we get back to U of H, it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will be great when we get to U of H, but
Well, how was the stadium, by the way?
Oh yeah, we got to take a look at it after the basketball game, before the homecoming game against Temple, which we've already talked about. No need to go back to that. But oh man, it has a similar feel, like in the arena shape, to the old one, to Hoffein's, which you've been to plenty, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But it's a lot newer. You remember when they used to do upgrades and stuff,
Yeah.
and it was just like, oh, we added stool seats or something stupid like that. The seats are nice. That little halo thing they're always touting about, the score halo that goes around the whole thing, looks awesome. It's nice and bright. Centers around the stadium. It's really nice, bright lighting. It used to be like where it was dark around the whole arena, and then it was only kind of bright around not even bright. It was just, you could see well on the court in the old stadium. Now, I mean, it's just like, it's like white light around the whole thing, but there's no light shining in your eye, so it's awesome. I'm excited to get my seats in there, or for my family to get our seats. We're sitting, I think, when you walk in to the arena, there is like open area, and then like, the nice, really nice expensive seats are beneath you, and then the rest of it is red seats that circles the ring. I think we're up towards the top right of when you walk in. We're at the top right, and so we have a scoreboard and I think display right across from us, which is pretty cool. We'll hopefully be in the student section, which like I think is 1,000 students, which I looked at it again. I thought it was just that one little bottom row, which is like which is really cool. It's right up against the it's on the ground level. It's right up there next to the court, but there's actually a whole nother box, a whole nother corner that's going to be exclusively for students. Because when I saw that, I was like, there's no way 1,000 students fits in there. But I understand now, because they get a whole corner to themselves, a whole section, which will help out. Hopefully they fill it up.
I think the attendance is going to be better.
I think it will,
on campus.
I think it's going to be crazy when we play Oregon, the first game, December 1st. There's going to be plenty of students at that game. But then will they come to watch us play Tulane? Will they come to watch us play Memphis? Will they come to play
Probably not as much, but I still think it's going to be.
I hope it is, man.
It's still going to be better than at TSU. One,
it should be.
One, it's not at TSU, and two, it's a 10-minute walk from the dorms. If that.
Well, so was technically the TSU game, because you had a 10-minute walk to the bus. It's actually shorter to go to the TSU game, because all you had to do was walk to the bus, and then it took you right up to the gates of the TSU game. I just think, just like our football team, when, unless you bring in some sort of high-profile athlete or something like that, or you're playing a great team, you don't bring the numbers. U of H football loses one game, and then boom, you're capping off 10,000 fans for the rest of the year. You know, basketball's the same way. Even though actually our basketball team, like last year, can be doing great. It doesn't matter if the name isn't out there. So hopefully, I hope you're right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh, you're definitely wrong. I'm just saying what I feel in my heart is that people won't show up to these games either. More will, but ugh.
I mean, it's on campus, so that's, I guess, one upside. So it's
That's
a little
huge
closer to
upside,
home,
yeah,
and it's, I guess, easier to advertise because it is on campus.
and it's new.
And it,
A lot
yeah,
of
that could be
shiny,
it too.
shiny new stuff. Hopefully the what are the amenities, the food and all that stuff. Hopefully it won't be dog trash. Concessions, yeah. Hopefully it won't be dog trash like it used to be.
Hey man, those hot dogs, undefeated on how bad they are.
They were real. It was cardboard. It was meat flavored cardboard
It was soggy meat flavored
that you
cardboard
paid $7 for.
wrapped in soggy bread flavored cardboard that was in a container that was soggy cardboard that you paid $7
Oh
for.
man, I remember the only thing I ever liked from the football or the basketball games. The football games, they're a whole nother beast. They're gross still.
Everything is gross.
But do you remember? I mean, this was when we were young. We were probably in our like 9s, 10s. They used to sell slush puppies. Do you remember those?
Sounds familiar.
They only served them for like a year. I guess some sort of weird deal got sent, but they were like knockoff ices.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. And they're the only thing I've ever liked at a U of H, any sort of game really, except for the years we played at the NRG Stadium. When you get a baked potato at halftime, and even though your team was losing, you could snack on that. But yeah, man, that was the only thing I remember liking, and they got rid of the only thing I liked.
I think it is going to be better because, I mean, Fertitta,
He can't provide.
really, he can't?
No, he can't, because if he does, then there's some sort of like, nepotism.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
nepotism. That's the wrong word, but it's like that, where it's like, oh, I paid for all this money, now sell my food here.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's like, it would be seen as like, it's illegal. I can't remember why, but I know it is.
Yeah.
So we're
That's
not
right.
getting a Papacitos at the.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm like, I mean, I was saying like maybe he gets better vendors that he chooses, but
He can't. No, he can't.
yeah,
It's
like you said,
it's
he
a
can't.
donation in the school.
But it would be nice if like
Oh.
a bubblegum shrimp or a Papacitos was in
Just
there.
popped a whoops. But no, you know what we're gonna get. We're gonna get football game food. We're gonna get
Pink's
chicken.
Pizza.
Oh,
Shout out them.
$20,000 pizza. That's just like grease and dough. Oh. But yeah, I mean, on top of having an exciting new stadium, we'll have an exciting new basketball team for it. And I mean, the first game of the season at that stadium we be against Oregon, who will have Bull on their team. Manute Bol's son, who's like a 7'3" center, but watching the highlights on that kid, he shoots like a guard.
Yeah, he plays very similar to a guard.
At least shoot, yeah,
Yeah, shooting-wise.
He obviously can't move like one, but when he shoots, man, like the first highlight I saw of him playing real basketball, college basketball, was he hit like a turnaround 3-pointer off of an inbounds pass. He's 7'3". What are you gonna do against that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
It's like trying to guard Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but he's taller. That's what's crazy.
Exactly.
He's longer.
Taller, bigger, and stronger.
Yeah. Well, not stronger. Not yet.
I
He's
think he's stronger than Kevin Durant.
He's an 18-year-old. Kevin Durant's a 20-something-year-old. 30-something.
Kevin Durant's not the biggest guy.
No, but Manute Bol wasn't super strong either. I think his son will be better than him, obviously, because he won't have as many health issues, at least not early. But I mean, he's an 18-year-old shooting turnaround threes, pull-up jumpers, catch and shoot,
That's 7'3".
making crazy passes. Yeah, 7'3". Thing is, he's not quick. So that's the one thing we got going for us, because U of H loves to chunk it and run it up and down the court. And you can bet your bottom dollar whenever he gets that ball in the post, whoever's guarding him, whether that be our smallest player or our tallest player, will be all over him. Especially, I'm excited to see in the rare occasion somehow there's this will be bad for UH, but a mix-up on switches, and we see Corey Davis, who's like 6'3".
If that.
Yeah, he's 6'3" on paper, but I don't think he's that tall in real life. Against Manute Bol, who's 7'3", watching him just jump all over that guy, it's gonna be fun because Corey Davis plays 200% every single second of every game he's out there, so that'll be exciting to watch at least. And that game, you're right, we will fill that game out for sure because that's a big headliner, and if we win that game, which I think we should, because they have a big star power.
Honestly, think
name.
we should win by double digits.
Ooh, you heard it here first, folks.
Hot take of the day.
Hot take. Because most of our hot takes usually go terribly wrong. Speaking, like the hot take of Carmelo Anthony winning Sixth Man of the Year. Remember that one, Cody? And now it's sounding like Carmelo
Still
Anthony.
early in the season, boy.
It's sounding like Carmelo Anthony's about to get kicked off the
Traded,
team.
yeah, but
No,
anyways.
wave. He's going to get here's your money, get out of here. Oh, man. You know what's even funnier? It sounds like the 76ers are going after Carmelo Anthony. So not only will we lose him.
Take him.
Open hands. Please.
Take him.
He's yours.
Please.
I will say this. I think Carmelo Anthony. People. I know we're jumping back to the Rockets because we've said all we need to say about the Houston basketball team. Come out and see them. They're against Rice, TSU. Just come park at the football stadium. They'll drive you to the game. It's $10 at the gate, if that. They're cheap tickets. It's a really exciting basketball team. Get on the ground floor when you're not bandwagon yet, and it will be exciting. But the Rockets, getting back to that with, the Melo thing, which I guess we kind of skimmed over. But, the Rockets are paying him 2.4 right now, which is nothing, which is crazy to me that we're even.
That's the veterans minimum, right?
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
It's like
Or just above it.
It's like the tax, what is it, the luxury tax, whatever, MLA. I don't know. I think it is a vetment. There's some 3-letter combo acronym that stands for it. I don't know. Who cares? But he's Rockets aren't paying him a lot, but he's getting so much blame for a guy who comes off the bench. He's getting all sorts of blame for something which I don't think is rightfully deserved. Morey said it. He's like, it's weird that everybody has all these assumptions on what's happening to Melo, about like everybody's saying he's a cancer. The Rockets think he's a cancer. The Rockets have said nothing like that. Nobody in the locker room has said he's a cancer. Everybody loves him, at least in the locker room and on the staff. But all these other, the Rockets always get, the short end of the stick.
Always.
Oh, Melo, Rockets say Melo's a cancer. Rockets are definitely going to get rid of him. He's going to go play here now. Melo is destroying the locker room. There's a fight. There was this one report that said that it was Melo and Chris Paul versus the rest of the locker room. Completely fake. Completely just fabricated. None of it was true. But because they said it, now it leads onto the story that everybody hates Melo again. That this is worse than OKC and all this stuff. And it's just ridiculous because now it's created a toxic environment around the program, around the organization. And it looks bad on Melo on where he goes next, which I don't think he deserves if he does go somewhere next, because it does look like he's going to get released, but not for the reasons that people say. Not because he's a locker room cancer, which is impossible. And people are saying, people are mad at the Rockets for things that the Rockets aren't even saying. It's not like anything's being leaked. People are just saying this stuff, and it's being made into these true stories. Like Evan Turner came out and said, "Well, you need to put more respect on his name." The Rockets haven't said anything. Morey is great with players. So this idea that he's just letting stuff like that leak to the media, even if it was being said, which it isn't, is crazy to me. And now the Rockets are going to take the bullet for it. They're going to look bad for no reason at all because just ESPN and these teams and the Warriors super conglomerates love to think that the Rockets are bad in everything they do. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Although, I don't know the exact stats, but when Melo's not playing,
Oh, he's not great. I will say that.
The team overall does better, points, rebounds, stuff like that. I just don't think at this point in Melo's career, he's good enough to be that deciding factor on a team.
No, but he wasn't. He was a bench player for us. You know? He still is. And his stats are skewed, too. You know, they're like, oh, the Rockets are better without him. Well, you know what else happened when the Rockets played without him? They had their 2 All-Stars back.
That is true.
They didn't have that when he was coming off the bench.
That is true.
I mean,
It just, I don't know.
when Melo was playing most of his minutes, the third best player out there was an unsigned free agent, Gary Clark, who is from Cincinnati. I always like to shout him out when I can. Gary Clark doing great things for the AAC in the professional world, along with Damian Dotson, who plays for the New York Knicks, also doing great things. Jonathan Simmons, who plays for the Orlando Magic. I don't know how he's doing right now, but I believe he's doing
Shout
great
out
things
them.
too. Yeah. You know, when that's the best player out there, and that guy's not even known for his scoring, he's known for his defense, you're going to get, because of Melo's name, his name alone, he's getting all the
That
heat.
is true.
And it's not deserved. I'll say that. Even whatever happens to him next in his career, I hope for the best, but I hate that this stigma is being transferred with him, that it's being, you know, brought alongside his name when he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. All right. I think this is gonna close it out. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I mean, just follow us here on YouTube. Follow our Snapchat. Nope.
No, not yet.
Nope. Twitter. Our Twitter, Moody Sports, at Moody Sports. Also, make sure to tell your friends, your family, your grandmama, anybody.
Your cousins, your auntie.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is coming up, so is Christmas. Get our name out there. Let your family know that you love sports and you want them to love it too. So that's going to be it. Anything else, Cody?
That's it.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Adios.
Bye.